So let's move on to the next one, is to eliminate counter-intentions. Now, I borrowed this phrase from Joe Vitale, counter-intentions. So for instance, if you want to get money from the any source, right? So for instance, you want to get money from the internet. You want to do an online business, for instance. If you have a counter-intention, I had a counter-intention which states something like, if I make money off people, if I take their hard-earned money, then that would be one of the most vicious things you can do to someone else. But the truth is that I realized after a while, after a few months or so, it took a long time for me to realize this, but if I'm giving something of value to them, it would actually help them to make more of that money. So actually it's an investment. I'm not taking away the money, it's like they're giving me their money so that I can teach them something so that they can get a higher return on investment. They can invest that money to make more of those, right? Okay, so that is eliminating your counter-intention. Okay, and you can also have raise your vibration through getting other people to be around other people who have this vibration you need. So we can do this by having a mastermind group, right? A mentor or a coach, or simply be inspired by others. So I am more inspired by others more than anything else. I have a mastermind group, I have a mentor and a coach, but I also primarily I am inspired by others, stories of others, right? So for instance, let's give you a very good example. Farah Gray, you can see it in my blog, right? Farah Gray is a millionaire who made his first million at only 14. So I read his book and saw some of the principles, and I'm inspired by him. As a result, I know that I can do this, right? This is not something that you can do by forcing it. This is something that you need to know. You need to know that other people are able to do it, right? And then you will believe in yourself. That's one way you believe in yourself, all right? Cool. And lastly, you need to break your pattern. Okay, I'm going to talk about this later, but keep that in mind. This is a very important one. Break pattern. Okay, now for how, fulfillment, all you need to do is know what you value and keep it in check every single day. Now, for fast completion, I'm talking about instant gratification. You need to break it down. You need to break it down to single steps you can take. So if you can do one thing a day, only one thing a day, that will move yourself or your business forward, then what would you do? Now put that one thing down every single day and just do one thing. One thing. That's all I ask of you. Do one thing. Do how many things? One. Alright? So, move on to the next one. The instant gratification is a result of us wanting to go from the start to the end and bypassing the whole thing and say, yay, right? That's our emotion that you want. You want instant emotional gratification. Now this is a result, as I said, the physical brain, the emotional brain, and the intellectual brain. So the intellect says, the logic says that, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. Listen to my language here. You got to do this. Now understand why you're procrastinating? You say, I get to do this. I get to do this, I get to do this. And if emotions say, oh man, I'm tired, this is so boring, that's why you're procrastinating. That's the cause. So what you need to do is you need to go from the intellect, bypass the emotions, and how you do that is just, okay, there is a method. There is this method that I just devised from somewhere, and it's worked for me. All I do is that whenever I start to feel emotional, it's like a fire, right? Emotions start to burn. They start very small. But after a while, you let it grow, it will burn your house down, alright? So what you gotta do is you gotta take it when the fire is still small, okay, and then you can extinguish it, and after you extinguish it, you go, take physical action. Put yourself into a physical position, just like I'm doing right now, right? I took my video camera, I started doing this, and it's been 11 minutes, 23 seconds, and it's really cool, right? I'm just moving, because I am just pushing out the emotions. So I'm actually doing what I'm preaching right now, okay? So bypass the emotions and then move straight away to physical action, okay? And lastly, create new pattern. Create a new pattern. Break pattern, create new pattern. So what Tony Robbins says is that all of us has a pattern, right? All of us, each and every one of us has a pattern that we live with. We live by, all right? So for instance, if you are procrastinating, there is a pattern to it. For instance, do you notice in the morning maybe you wake up, you straight away watch TV? Now that's a pattern. What you gotta do is you gotta break that pattern. Straight away after you wake up, you clean up your house, your room, and you straight away get to the thing that you have to do. Because when you first wake up, you realize that your whole mind is just empty, right? It's empty. It's something that you really have to treasure. All right. After that, you can straight away do anything, and the emotional brain just hasn't been activated yet. And when you start doing something, you will realize that when you start doing something, that there's this momentum that goes on, and you can't really stop, right? Now that's really something where you want to do, where you want to be. That's something that you want to do. Okay, so do that. All right, you got to break your pattern. So give you another example. This is something that I learned from my mentor, Evan Pagan. So what he said is that, you know, when every time you procrastinate, there is this one window just before you procrastinate where you know, shit, I am going to procrastinate now. So you know that, but just because of the momentum you have from the emotional brain, you just, you know, procrastinate. But what if you could practice this, right? So go back to the state, go back to the last time when you were about to procrastinate and you knew that you were going to procrastinate, but you just moved on because in that 1 second you just said, okay, oh, what the hell, I'm going to go forward, I'm going to procrastinate anyway, I can do it later, I can do it tomorrow, that kind of thing. Now go back to that part, Now close your eyes and go back to that part. Right? Move it in your mind. So now you are about to procrastinate. You know that moment, right? And then break your pattern. You gotta break your pattern, right? I know this is a bit crazy. This is a bit Anthony Robbins, but you gotta break your pattern. Do something like say stop, and then move forward. Move straight to physical action. All right. So that's why you're procrastinating and how to end it. My name is Saiful Rizal. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.